But it's really interesting. This is the great thing about it. I did a Facebook Live just down at Broadbeach on the Gold Coast, doing it on property. There, as soon as I finished that, someone came up to me. They could be a potential client down the track.
You don't know.
You know, by putting yourself out there and talking out, and maybe I was a little bit loud for the whole park or the beach area, but it is putting yourself out there on a constant basis. Tell people what you're doing. That then is a pressurized thing because you're putting yourself out there. Putting yourself out there is a pressure situation because it's that fear of rejection and other things that come around it.
100%. You know what we need to do? I'm just thinking, because we've got a crowd here, we should put a hat upside down here, mate, and see if we get some... This is almost like a new age busking. Right. So this is, instead of doing the music and telling jokes, we're adding value. So we'll put a little hat.
While they're having their breakfast and, you know, they might be staring at each other, they could actually be entertained and then interact with it. You know, there's just so many opportunities. What was number 3, mate?
Number 3
do you have the drive, determination, motivation to actually do this, to be the best of the best, to get to the grand final for yourself? I did talk about, and Tony spoke about self-awareness earlier, being an entrepreneur or elevating yourself from you know, that type of career where you're at right now. Maybe it's to another career. Maybe it's to a promotion inside where the business you're going. Whatever it might be, do you have that drive and motivation? Or do you like just working 9 to 5, getting out there and doing other things outside your work? Then that self-awareness around that. So maybe your drive and motivation is just to get the income, that sales, that cash flow through, but your life is more so outside the workplace than inside. For Tony and I, it's a little bit different, where we love what we do, and you know, the whole thing about being an entrepreneur and following our path and vision is about us working as part, you know, we're working as a life approach rather than a have-to approach.
Yeah, well, it's about having goals, right? So you need to have goals for yourself. You need to have something that's in front of you, a forward-facing opportunity for you. It's goals. If you aren't clear on what they are, you need to get incredibly clear. And then once you've got a goal, it's about creating a plan. You know, and I call it filling in the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And GAP for me stands for Goal Achievement Plan. It's a plan. It's a plan of action that's going to take you to your goals. Plenty of people will go, oh, I have a goal to leave my job, or I have a goal to get $1 million, or whatever it might be, but they don't have any plan between where they are. So it's about firstly get clear on that goal, and then create a plan for yourself. In regards to... Sorry, you go, mate.
Yeah, I was just going to say, in terms of something that has really come up for me in the last couple of years, is I want to get to a point where, you know, I've got enough capital, or extreme one, and a lot more capital, that I can be a venture capitalist.
Yep.
And that's something that's within me that I would like to do: assess deals and do deals and work with people at higher levels. And that's something I'm working on myself. So the work I'm doing today within my business then will then eventually get to a point where I'm looking at bigger deals and assessing what's going on. And the interactions that I have on the smaller deals now are going to help me in future. Mal, good to have you on, a few others. So I guess the question today is, you know, when is your grand final? And are you looking to be dealing with the best of the best, really, Tony?
Yeah, so just in regards to number 3 around the motivation, we talk about it here often, and that is that you're not always going to feel like doing it, you know, and here's a guy who's run 1,030 odd days in succession. You know, but of those 1,030, you know, Luke often talks about it's about 5%, 10% of days where he's actually genuinely felt like it. So that means...
I didn't feel like it today, I'll tell you that.
There you go, but why did you do it?
It's just ingrained.
Sure.
It's just ingrained. It's that consistency of it. It helps me with the mind.
And that's the bit there. It's like, you know, I'm really fascinated as to, hey, I didn't feel like doing it, but I did it anyway.
The glutes are sore.
Whereas for a lot of people, it's, hey, I don't feel like doing it, and I'm going to sit back down and not do it, right? Or I'm going to have that extra sleep, or I'm going to watch TV, or go and have fun with my friends, or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with relaxing and watching TV, or relaxing and having fun with your friends, but if you've got a big goal for yourself, if you've got objectives that you want to achieve, then it's going to take work and effort, and you're not always going to feel like it. That's the reality. Right? And so here's a guy who's only felt like it for 10% of the days, and today's one of them where he didn't feel like it, but he's got up anyway, and it's about finding that reason, and the reason typically is in front of you. The reason is, and I know you talk about this often, it's the feeling of completion at the end. It's the feeling of when I do the 7K, regardless of the time, I feel freaking awesome, right? And so it's whatever is your equivalent to the 7K. It's not it doesn't have to be a health and wellness thing. It could be a work thing, it could be a career thing, it could be whatever it might be. What's that something in front of you that you're working towards? It, you're always focused on it, and that way, even though you have days we don't feel like it, I'm still going to push myself in that direction.
You know what the running does, Tony?
What does it do?
It prepares me
In what way?
for meeting up with you on a Sunday morning and going through these mindset sessions.
Well, there you go. See, that's awesome, right? I love it. Is
Guys.
this that bad? No?
It's so much fun. Ken says 35 years married, 42 years in all, plus we work with each other much of the time. So yeah, good combination.
Good on you, Ken. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And spending a bit of time with Ken and Janelle,
Yeah.
you see that sort of the feel and the mix between them and the dynamics. And, you know, after 35 years or 42 years, still going on strong.
I think it's a wonderful effort for both of you. So congratulations and a real inspiration.
More for Janelle.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Ken's a
I
good-
don't know.
Ken-
I don't know Janelle. I've only spoken to Ken once for about 20 or 30 minutes. But good on you. I think that's awesome. Look, today was all about grand finals and pressure, and it really is about, in order to get used to the pressure, you have to put yourself in that spot. You have to put yourself in a pressurised place to get used to that, to build the resilience. Resilience is one of the keys, right? It's about building the resilience to deal with the things that are coming at you. And the guys that play this afternoon, you know, they would have practiced a whole range of things, but you'll see that one side will be better able to deal with the pressure than the other side. You saw it last night. You saw that, you know, Richmond in that third quarter, they were better able to deal with the pressure. They came out towards the end of the first half, that last couple of minutes, where they kicked that goal and narrowed the gap, and they came out of that third quarter, which is the premiership quarter, and they just dealt with the pressure far better than Geelong. But it's interesting, early on, Geelong were applying the pressure. They were, but then Richmond sustained that and turned it around. So it's about dealing with the pressure. So then what can you take out of that with your own life, with your own business, with your relationship, with your health and wellness, with your career, whatever it might be? It's all about being able to deal with pressure.
You made a good point, Tony. It was about when
Just
you get
one?
things... Yeah, just one. When things are thrown at you, how are you responding?
Correct.
When a goal is kicked against you or a try is scored against you, or there's, you know, in a career when the boss comes down hard on you, or you have a failing or a mistake or something happens,
Correct.
how do you actually respond? And you see so many times in sport, heads go down when things aren't going that well. Lift it up. I remember playing soccer myself, and you could see that my whole team, when we were down, you know, 2-0, and then that third goal is kicked against us, or you're 1-1, and then it's 2-1. They've kicked this against us, and there's only 5 minutes to play. Heads go down, and I'm like trying to cheer everyone up and get, you know, motivate people on the way, and you know, they're so emotionally involved in that mistake or failing of what just happened. That they're not thinking forward, they're dwelling on what has just happened.
Well, how many times do you watch a game? Let's talk rugby league, because that's today. How many times do you watch a game at around the 65, 70-minute mark? It's such a close game. It's been such a wonderful contest. One team scores, and all of a sudden the end result's about 15, 18 points difference.
That was like last night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of being
such
a game of like 6 or 8 or 10,
yeah, correct.
It was 30.
Correct, but yet it was such a close contest, right? It was such a close contest, but then there's moments where the heads go down. When you said heads go down, I was thinking of a vision of a couple of college basketballers from the US, where there's a little short guy and a tall guy whose head goes down. The little short guy puts his hand literally under the chin of this guy and says,
I was thinking the same.
Get your head up, get your chin up, you know, because here's the thing with that. You can't change it. So stuff happens all the time. Bad stuff happens to me, bad stuff happens to Luke. You know, bad stuff happens at your job, your business, whatever it might be. You can't change that moment.
Lift your head.
Lift your head up. Keep your head up, right? Because here's the thing.
That'll be a post for today.
It's what's in front of you, right? It's what's in front of you. How do you respond to that? What are you going to do next? Because that thing that happened, like I talked earlier about those couple of bad days that I had during the week, it's like those days happen. So I don't even think about those days. I think about tomorrow when my feet hit the floor. How do I rebound from that? How do I be better tomorrow? Because today didn't go the way that I thought it would. And I don't dwell on it. I go, got it. And then tomorrow it's all about what can I do differently? And that's the opportunity for all of us. Stuff will have happened tomorrow or last week. forget about it. Stop thinking about it. Take the lesson, but then move in a forwards direction. Don't let your head come down. Don't let your state change. That's what happens. People's head goes down, the state changes, the shoulders slump, and then they do it for a second day and a third day, and all of a sudden it's very, very difficult to break out of that.
One idea, actually, while I was running this morning, I actually felt myself, because I actually had the pain in the glutes,
Yep.
I was actually thinking, okay, lift your head today.
Yep.
So it's those little things
Yep.
that you can do, those little techniques you can do while you're experiencing different things, or while you experience those pain, that might reprogram the way you do things moving forward with that task.
100%, because you're experiencing pain. So you can, whatever you think about expands. So if you sit there and think about the pain on my glute, now the pain goes from this big and it becomes this big, and it's almost like, oh, do I stop? Do I pull over? Do I, not keep going?
It's like Tony, a pain in my ass.
Am I being that today? So it's all around what you think about expands. So if you think about, I'm going to focus on my posture, I'm going to focus on my technique or whatever it might be.
The form, yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to focusing on the pain, because what happens is the majority of us focus on a problem. Right, so in Let's Talk Life, not so much running, we focus on a problem
Rather than
the solution. And when we focus on a problem, the problem becomes bigger
We're so in
bigger
sync
and
these
bigger
days.
and bigger and bigger. Yeah, we are, mate.
Yeah, we're getting in sync, because I was actually thinking about that same
you
photo with the college students of
There you
lifting
go.
other hands.
See, there you
That's
go.
what made me think about
Great
it.
minds, great minds. So it's all around.
Who's rubbing off who?
Well, I think there's elements of both.
Is that a 7 out of 10 sitting on the fence?
That was 100%. That was no. So it's all around. You've thrown me. Now that's it. I'm done. I'm done now.
Great.
I'm
Guys,
done.
this has been a great Sunday Mindset
What have we
session.
got here?
It is grand final time. And we just think about all the pressure that you're going to go through. You're going to have the pressure in your life.
Yeah.
If you want to start stepping it up to play with it, play against the best of the best, or be the best of the best. It's like Top Gun, the movie, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be the best. This is like the 1%.
Correct.
I know in property investing, I'll use this analogy, only 20,000 people in Australia have 6 or more investment properties. That is less than 1%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
1%. So how to be one of those 1%? Well, in property, you grow a property portfolio of 6 or more properties, hold them for 20 years, you make the money, which is great. Sean has just come on.
Oh, has
wow,
he?
Wow.
Sean, you'll have to go back to about the 10-minute mark. We've got a lovely message there for you, mate.
Good morning, guys. Been listening all morning. Kelly, bet me.
To tuning in. Tuning in. Gotcha.
Fantastic.
Gotcha.
And Audrey says, great live session, Luke Moroney and Tony Meredith.
Thank you, Audrey.
Ken says, change the word from problem to situation. Okay, problems worry you, situations you can fix.
Sure.
I like that.
Great, good work.
And thank you guys, says Gabby.
But here's the thing with that. So great, Ken. Firstly, so change
We're
the situation.
about to finish, but we're still going.
And I'll still be going. What time's the footy start?
No.
But here's the thing: when you focus on a problem or situation, using Ken's word, it's happened. So you're actually looking backwards, right? You're looking back at the thing that's already happened. I don't want you to look back. I want you to look in front of you. In front of you is the solution. Looking back is the problem. The other thing is pressure makes diamonds. Pressure makes diamonds. Don't ever forget that, right? And so it's all around dealing with the pressure. Put yourself into pressurized situations. Build the muscle. That'll be hard early on. It's not going to be easy. None of this is easy. But you deal with it. You deal with it. You deal with it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. Again, go back to live videos. When I first started, shocking. Improved, still got ways to go, but kept doing it. Same as Luke, keep doing it. Put yourself in pressurizing situations, deal with it, because pressure makes diamonds.
Sean says he was on airplay, went to watch watch it like a grand final. Yeah. So I just read that. I read that wrong. Anyway, sorry, Sean. What's your tips today? NRL grand final. Melbourne.
I just think
I was actually thinking Penrith, and then I was just like, the more that they're just systemised, and it's very similar to like a Richmond Geelong last night. I'd love to see Penrith win, but your head says Melbourne.
I thought Melbourne were incredible last week. I thought they were incredible. Just the way in which they played, the systems. Wonderful coach, obviously. Cameron Smith, he's playing his 2000th game. Or something along those lines. I mean, it's 400 and something, which is a phenomenal effort. So go look. You know what? Here's the thing for me. I don't have a rugby league team other than the Maroons. So my team was the mighty North Sydney Bears, who are no longer. So for me, I get to watch every rugby league game in a calm state, except the Maroons, in a calm state, and enjoy it for what it is, right? As opposed to having a team and the emotion that goes
Well,
with it.
apparently Sean's got the anniversary covered, so maybe we ruin the whole thing about the surprise anyway. So
Wonderful, mate. I'm delighted that you've got it all covered.
yeah, I'm with Ken. Head says Melbourne, heart says Penrith. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays
It's going
out.
to be a good game. It's going to be a cracking game. Clearly the two best sides from the year, which is good.
Which is
and
awesome.
That's what you want, And again, last night was a great contest. All we want is a good contest. But yeah, go Melbourne. Or is it Queensland Storm?
The Queensland Storm.
Queensland Storm.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. It's been a long session. It's been a really good one. I'm loving it. Bouncing around different ideas around mindset. Think about the pressure. Think about grand final. And think about being the best of the best for yourself, not other people's. Kelly says, "Thanks, guys. You're awesome. Haven't ruined
Enjoy Tuesday.
anything
Sean and
about
Kelly, have
the
a wonderful
anniversary.
Tuesday. Terrific. Thank
See
you,
you
guys.
guys.